What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nintendo Land, and we may have gotten some new information on Mario Party Jamboree that really excites me personally because it might be alluding to the fact we're getting boss battles returning, which is super exciting for me, and I'll tell you why in a second. But let's go over the actual ESRB rating summary that has been posted about this game, and it states, "This is a collection of minigames, party games in which players compete to earn stars, coins, and rankings. As players engage in different modes, examples being board games, rhythm games, puzzle-based games, flying games, and minigames, they encounter or participate in whimsical instances of fantasy violence, cartoony cannons, cannon turrets, and shoot at giant characters, avoiding a robot with giant boxing gloves, fist, using oversized hammers against each other, connecting electric circuits to zap a boss character, and damage is indicated by blinking comical yelps and or dizzy star effects." Now, that's all stuff that we could probably expect. Of course, it's a general summary of what Mario Party is. But the thing that really got me is connecting electric circuits to zap a boss character. And let me tell you why that's really important. Now, I personally love the addition of boss battles into Mario Party, and in fact, we actually got them back in the day in small capacities. A lot of the times they worked as final bosses and just one boss in the entire game as like a way to end the normal story, but they started to evolve into more than just that with some of the newer games, with like Mario Parties 9 and 10, where boss battles became a staple and actually had tons of them in the game that kind of worked as fun, unique mini games where you work together in order to take out a boss, but also was the winner if you dealt the most damage. These were personally some of my favorite parts of Mario Party. Even though a lot of people really didn't like Mario Parties 9 and 10 thanks to the car function, I really loved the boss battles, and it was one of my favorite parts. It just added depth to some of the mini games where normally they're over in like 30 seconds, but you get to actually sit and enjoy like a pretty in-depth mini game where you're actually having to take out a big creature or a big boss, and it looks like this could be making return for Mario Party Jamboree. And a lot of people might say this only worked well with the, kind of car mechanic that Mario Party 9 and 10 had, where everybody's grouped together and you get little mini stars for that. Not necessarily, because bosses did return in Mario Party Island Tour on the 3DS, also in Mario Party Star Rush on the 3DS, and Mario Party The Top 100 on the 3DS. So Nintendo really just haven't done it for any of the Mario Parties on the Switch yet. But with Jamboree coming out, is there a chance? Well, considering the fact that it's another Super Mario Party game, I wouldn't have thought so, because the original Super Mario Party did not have any type of bosses whatsoever. But if you go back and read the Super Mario Party summary, it states, "This is a collection of minigames, party games, in which players compete to earn the most stars and coins. A handful of minigames depicted instances of cartoony violence, players shooting balls at one another, opponents pushing characters off a platform, or to get them out of the way to snap a picture. Characters playing a hot potato game with whimsical bombs. Damage is indicated by blinking, comical yelps, and or dizzy star effects." So it's essentially the same exact summary, but this time not really mentioning anything to do with giant boss characters. And if you read Mario Party 9 and 10's descriptions, games that both have boss battles, you'll read, "Landing on certain spaces triggers whimsical combat sequences or boss battles," which is slightly different than what Jamboree says. Jamboree does not say boss battles, but instead says boss character. So yes, what does zap this boss character mean? Well, it's hard to say. I don't know if it's alluding to, in fact, there's going to be boss battles, but personally, I would have felt like Nintendo would have showed this already. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to wait for a specific time to show those boss battles. Or is it just one boss battle like some of the older Mario Party games, like one at the end where you have to zap Bowser or something? We did indeed see a marathon mode where you actually have to fight Bowser in a group of characters for some reason, so maybe that's what they're alluding to. But I do want to dive into that marathon mode, because unfortunately I don't think it's going to be regular boss battle mini games like we've gotten in 9 and 10. I think this is something different. As you can see, there's a lot of scenes where it seems like you'll be fighting Bowser in various different mini games. And this one, you're just kind of walking away from him, and the last one standing wins, as you can see the remaining counter at the top left, so we're not going to be directly fighting Bowser here. The other one has some city where you're shooting a giant cannon with tons of clusters of cannonballs at Bowser, So this one, it does seem like it's somewhat of a boss battle, but you have tons of players with you, probably once again in this marathon mode, and in this weird city landscape. I'm not really sure what's going on here, but Bowser does have a health bar at the top left, so this is in some capacity a boss battle. I think there's another one too that we can look at that a lot of people aren't talking about, is this one against Wiggler. It seems to be a giant Wiggler, so maybe this is a group boss battle as well, where we all have to work together in order to beat him as a part of the marathon mode. So maybe all the boss battles are in that specific mode, and we all have to work together at a task, or sometimes it's the last one standing. I really don't know. Maybe it's just everyone working together and whoever does the best gets the most points, but it's hard to say. If that's the case, that's cool and all, but I would really love to see proper boss battles return. And how would they work in the main game? Well, simple. Every now and then a boss battle minigame appears, just randomly when you're going across the board, and it causes all the players to have to play a game that maybe gives you double coins if you win. It's more of a special minigame if anything. I loved these minigames in Mario Party 9 or 10 because, like I said, they had a lot of depth to them. A lot of puzzle thinking, like the thwomp, where you had to know how many spaces it was going to rotate the platform and who the thwomp was going to land on. And it also made you think about your opponents. It was kind of like playing a real life board game with the people in the room, because you had to know what they were going to do. Were they going to choose 1 or 0 to move the platform? So that way it made you think, what type of person is your friend? So every time you played the minigame with different people, it was like playing a new minigame. I love that. Your minigame is about just having good reaction speed and clicking the right thing before your opponents, trying to grab the golden hammer or just a straight up regular hammer before all the hammers were gone and you were left with a stick. The chain chomp minigame, where all of us had to get close to the TV and pay attention to where the tracks ran and hurry up and click the corresponding button as fast as possible, and then obviously not being able to get the number 1 slot that you wanted and then having to guess where the other slots were. It was just an awesome feeling. And even the basic ones I had tons of fun with, like shooting the cheap chomp multiple times with your shells until he lands on a specific character and eats that one. It was something that you had to really time down. Do you want to get the extra point by shooting it, or do you want to wait because it might land on you and make you lose points? That's the type of minigame that I love. Trying to be the first one to make it through a giant block maze in order to reach the end and be the first one to grab the cannon. There's also basic boss battle minigames that's not even based around puzzles, like straight up just shooting the boss with something. So as I'm not really expecting it, I'm really hoping Nintendo surprises us and brings back boss battles. But if they do, let me know down below, what type of boss battle would you like to see? Going by how Mario Party 9 and 10 has gone, and even the other games, it looks like it's always against Bowser or some type of bigger enemy that's turned into a boss battle, like a Spike or a Blooper or a Cheep, something along those lines. So definitely get creative down below. Comment the word boss in all caps, followed by your boss battle idea. What would the boss be, and how would we take it out in a minigame fashion? Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.